Hi, my name is Patricia Ole Brook. I was born in 1942 and baptized at the Lutheran Church in Lucas, Ohio. Actually, my dad had two great great uncles way back that were Lutheran ministers in Germany. I don't know that they knew Martin Luther, but they were old time ministers. In 1952, when I was about 6 years old and going into the fifth grade, my parents and I moved on Cook Road here out by the water tower. And beyond the water tower, the road wasn't even paved beyond that. And we joined Holy Trinity Lutheran Church at that time, and there was just the chapel. And I remember a Mr. Hins as a Sunday school teacher. Later, I joined Luther League and also the junior choir. The choir director at that time was Janie Brook, and her husband and three children also attended here. One time, my dad passed out during a church service, and they carried him out the chapel and laid him on one of the big stones on either side of the walkway out there. I was screaming in church, but it ended up he was okay, he just got too warm. When I graduated from high school and I was in nurses training, I began going to First English Lutheran Church, and went there for a while. Pastor Mitchell was there, and his son Sandy had graduated from high school with me. When I passed my boards and became a registered nurse in 1963, I worked in the ER in the operating room, and there was Mr. Brook, who went to Holy Trinity, who came into the emergency room with chest pain, and it was suggested that he stay overnight. The doctor wanted to observe him overnight, and he refused and went home, and I thought, oh, what a stubborn man. So then one day there was a new hire in surgery, a gal named Jan, and she went to First Lutheran Church, and she was part of a new group called FOIL, Federation of Young Adult Lutherans. And Pastor Smith and Pastor Comfer were basically our advisors. Mary Lou Brook and another man from Ashland Lutheran Church were kind of in charge of the group. And oh, we had such great times together. And one time we were all going to go camping down in southern Ohio, but I had to work, so I called Mary Lou Brook and said, is anybody going on Saturday? And she said, yes, her brother was. So it ended up I rode down with him. When it came time to come back home, I was going to go with somebody else, and he said he had to drive alone, so I came back with him. Anyway, then we had another gal within the group, and she was dating a young man, and he had an engagement ring for her, but she didn't know that. And in the meantime, he was killed in a tractor turnover accident, and which was so tragic. And I was going to go with the group to the calling hours, but they were all full. And so she said, well, if you can wait and go the next day, my brother's going, so can you go with him? And I said, well, okay. So we ended up going to the funeral home, and then he actually asked me out to go bicycle riding. And that's how we started dating. And so Bob Brook Jr. was the son of Janie Brook, who was choir director here, and the brother of Mary Lou Brook, who was the organist. So we dated for 6 months, became engaged for 6 months, and we were married actually down at First English. Then we moved to Cincinnati for 3 years while he got his master's degree. And when he finished that, we moved back to Mansfield, 2 blocks away from Holy Trinity, and we joined Holy Trinity again. Our son was born in 1972. He was baptized here by Pastor Smith. along with our minister from Cincinnati who came up for the service. Um, and then later on, he went through catechism, and we were members of this church for quite a long time. Um, we still belonged to Foyle. We were played football. We would go to church as a group, and we just had a good time. As long as Pastor Smith said we were behaving, he was behind us. Pastor Comforter was also part of our group, another Lutheran minister. Um, and then I was married in 1968. After we came back from Cincinnati, and of course we were members here, at some point there was a program at the First Presbyterian Church, and we went to this program and ended up going to First Presbyterian for a while. Bob, my husband, developed Parkinson's disease and was very attached to the assistant minister at First Presbyterian. And Bob had dementia and had to go to a nursing home. And he died at 67 years old. And the minister at that time was able to do his service. And so later on, I am back to my roots. I'm back at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. It feels like coming home. I'm just real pleased to be here. Pastor Kathy is wonderful. She gives great sermons. I'm now 81 years old, and I'm planning my funeral, which I hope to be held at Holy Trinity. And it's just a great church, and my Christian journey, I know at some point will come to an end, but I'm just grateful to have been a part of Holy Trinity over the years.